Now we can post our chats to the internet like everybody else.
That's why I wore my good shirt.
Look, I'm the destroyer.
Punisher.
Hooray. Yeah. Sometimes you just destroy, you don't get to punish.
So tell us about the SolidX.
So like I said, there's this new exchange, Solidly, and it has staking pools for liquidity, just like other exchanges. This one is called SolidX, and you can stake, and there are APRs, some of which are just silly, almost like pancake swap like things, like this top one, Gin Spirit and something Spell, which is now at the moment claiming a 2000% APR, but yesterday was like a 750% APR. But then they allow you to filter stable versus volatile. I'm still a little unclear as to how narrowly they're defining stable, because they're including the native token of Solidly Exchange Solid among the stable pairs, and yet in a couple of cases I see APRs, running into at least the several hundreds. Yeah, and then there's supposed to be some like curve finance like mechanics to it, but I forget exactly how curve works sufficiently to describe what that means in practice. But you can you can convert your solid into, so help me, they call it solid sex, and it's the solid token locked to a curve finance like compounding pool. So that's a thing that people are doing now.
So these guys talk in APRs rather than APYs. That seems unusual, right? Because everybody else is constantly going on about APYs.
Don't know that that's true. Do you remember if Curve uses APY or APR?
I'm fairly sure Curve is APY. Let's double check.
They say APY. Okay.
Greg, you're doing a good job of being YouTube worthy, providing knowledge to the masses.
Yeah,
Big
base
YouTuber.
APY. Oh, there's rewards in TAPR.
Yeah, I feel like this is my like evidence-free hypothesis, is that there is a pool where the two tokens, because apparently there's a form of they really went with the like let's make sex jokes angle on the SolidX versions. So I think there's one of them. Right. Okay. Got it. Yeah. So the call sign for SolidX is sex, and there's a pool where the trading pair is sex and slurp. So fascinating stuff. We'll figure out what slurp is. That can't be true. So there's something called Slurperinos, but that's only on Binance Smart Chain. Yeah, that's definitely not real. This is claiming a market cap of 885 billion, so that doesn't exist. FK Slurp Dev. Yeah, that one's on Phantom. Starting to think the bit times may not be a legitimate source of information.
They're certainly a very slick website, and I like the whole getting started guides.
Greg, can you share the site with all the slurp going on, or is that Solidex?
Yeah, if you go into the Solidex and it's like on the second or third page, if you sort by APR.
It's still on the pools page?
Correct. Okay, so there's something called Slurp DAO. Is it originally intended? Now I'm on the subreddit Crypto Moonshots.
So some of these have a boost factor. I don't know if you've seen that. Like,
Yeah, what does that do?
I have no idea. I've never seen a boost factor before.
Okay. Yeah, this slurp is not looking good. Slurp was launched on 11/11, originally intended to be an own fork by a dev who rug pulled the community a few hours after a fantastic launch. A community member who was tired of seeing scammers run away with everyone's funds added LP from their own pocket, and the community rallied behind them. The past 5 days, this would have been as of, I guess, also November. Holders have broke 100, and the market cap has grown from 5,000 to 260,000. Okay. Oh, it was the same day on November 11th. So the dev only ran off of $40,000. Okay.
It seems like WFTM is very common in these pairs.
You mean as a top level domain?
No, I mean, if you sort by APR or don't sort by APR, I'm seeing for some reason that the one of the pairs is oftentimes WFTM.
WFTM. Yeah, what is WFTM?
They don't have a.
Oh,
a
wrapped
June table.
Phantom. That makes sense. Wait, why would it need to be wrapped? This is happening on the Phantom chain.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say there's nothing on June, but you just said it. It's happening on the Phantom chain, so June doesn't have access to that.
Yeah.
Do we have an agenda for today?
No.
Okay. Do we want to continue researching SolidX finance?
Sure.
Okay.
Any news from your developer guys from Dune?
Yeah, I think I sent them the Google Calendar one, and maybe I didn't. No, I did. I sent one of the guys the Zoom one, and he asked me what my role on Olympus DAO was, and I said, seems like it's faltering.
And what's your view on Olympus is?
Yeah, what my role on
Oh, what's your role?
what my role on Olympus DAO is.
Do you have a role?
My role is faltering.
Your role is faltering. Got it.
So how does the Phantom chain compare to other blockchains?
We should look into that. Intro to Phantom. Phantom is a leaderless, asynchronous, and Byzantine fault-tolerant layer 1 blockchain protocol. Latch assist, which is their consensus mechanism. Blah, blah, blah. So it uses the Ethereum virtual machine, but it uses a different consensus method. Right, it's already proof of stake. Okay.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's I treat it like as if optimism had been an L1.
Interesting. So beyond this, the sex puns, what do you think of SolidX?
I'm just in the middle of exploring it, but given the fast adoption of Solidly the exchange and the credibility of the team, the connection to the Wonderland debacle notwithstanding. Because one of the Solidly founders, the other one, the more community-oriented one, this guy, Danielle Sestigeli, if I'm pronouncing his name accurately, who's been involved in Abracadabra and Wonderland, that it turned out Wonderland that the treasurer was this guy who is like literally a convicted identity thief and fraudster and was deported from the United States at one point for these crimes.
Mhm.
And was participating in Wonderland anonymously.
Mhm.
So that, like, by association is kind of a knock, but everyone seems to be digging Solidly. And since like, to my mind, like, I don't know about like spirit/sin spirit as a trading as a liquidity pool pair, but since Solid, the native token, staking that is the basis for like getting a cut of the trading fees on the Solidly exchange. That seems like a entirely viable as DeFi staking pools are likely to get. But yeah, as soon as I started looking at it, all of these like much stranger things started appearing.
Hmm.
And what's cool, something that I like about is they give you a readout of the like current reserve amount of each coin in the trading pair, so you can see if there's an imbalance.
Say that again, sorry.
So just like click on manage for one of the like potential trading pairs, and then click over to Zap deposit once you're on that like overlay screen.
Mhm.
Then down at the bottom, you'll see something that says reserve info, and then it'll give the current number of coins that are staked on each side of the trading pair. Because since each coin could be in multiple trading pairs,
Mhm.
you could end up with significant imbalances across a particular trading pair. Indeed, I would guess that some of the APR is generated by there being an imbalance in the reserve quantity of, hey, whoever's taking notes, write that down.
Go ahead. I'm taking notes.
That's one input to APR is the imbalance in the reserve amount of each coin in the trading pair. That is, what is the ratio of one coin to the other in a particular, in like all LP pools on a given exchange.
One
Using
input
my
to the API is the imbalance to the reserve amount in the trading pair, the ratio of one token to another.
Right. And then put like, I guess, period. This can be generated because each coin in the trading pair is a part of multiple liquidity pools in multiple pairs. So even though you put in an equivalent amount in each pool, because coins are in multiple pools, they can fall out of balance, fall out of equivalence. So equal value or whatever the phrasing is.
Mhm. So this zap, this zap withdraw reserve info is a big green flag.
Yeah, so it doesn't, so the zap thing is totally unrelated. That just, so I don't know how many times you've staked an LP token. But to get to an LP token, you first, to stake LP tokens, you first have to create the LP token out of the two cryptocurrencies that comprise it.
Mhm.
And so what Andrej has done here, and hat tip or whatever to him, is made that one motion. The zap phrasing is just give me the two tokens that are in the LP, and then I will create the LP token and then deposit that in the staking pool all in one motion.
Okay.
So that's a real UX win. And if we ever create a staking pool, we should definitely rip that off. And I believe this reserve info is reported elsewhere. I just found it here at the moment. So actually, that's the real note, is we should figure out if there's some way to scan for reserve info on the total balance of each token in an LP pool, in the reserve of that across the exchange.
So we want to figure out how to scan the reserve info. Sorry, I'm struggling.
Yeah, scan the reserve info to find. Wait, let me try something like that. Oh no, I guess not. Yeah, okay, I was wrong. So I clicked over to another pool, did the zap deposit thing that has the same token as the first one, and it's got a different reserve info amount, which I'm now realizing makes sense because you have to, you don't actually have access to each, to every token that's been used in any LP pool across the exchange, because they've been created into LP tokens that are paired with like a particular trading pair, a particular other token, which means that there are same coin is locked in different reserves for different LP pairs. But this gives me an idea along the lines of, who the hell is that group that expanded the number of coins could be in an LP token from 2 to 6? Do you either of you remember which group that is? So there's some group that has done that. I forget the name of it. But where my head goes is, this seems like a horrible waste to have to create LP tokens for each trading pair, right? Like it adds a lot of volatility and incoherence to like what the APR will be, right?
Say that again. It's a waste to create.
To create individual LP tokens for every trading pair, right? Because then you've got to take the same token and drop it into different LP pools for every possible trading pair, which is of course combinatorially more large than the number of tokens represented on the exchange. And so that like should introduce volatility by meaning that you're constantly guessing at not just like which tokens you should be holding, but which LP pairs they should be a part of, right? It like fragments the like the number of like where all the tokens are going. So this gives me an idea. Instead of requiring equivalent amounts on both sides of a trading pair, just have people stake individual coins available for all trading pairs across the whole exchange, and then use APY changes on each of those staked individual coins to incentivize some level of balance across, to direct liquidity where it is least available. That seems simpler.
Greg, as usual, your thoughts are well ahead of the rest of the world. So I
Yep.
guess my simplistic rehashing of your thought is that you want to decrease overall volatility in a DAO project by moving APYs from one project to the other in real time instead of just buying 5 of them and allowing them to average themselves.
No, not at the DAO level. That would be like the individual coin or like an auto compounding or whatever. Specifically for liquidity pools on exchanges, that since the purpose of a liquidity pool on an exchange is to guarantee liquidity and act as an automated market maker so that there could be quick resolution of trades, right? However, we have a fragmentation of this by needing to lock both for each trading pair, not just Phantom to wrapped Ethereum, but Phantom to wrapped Ethereum, Phantom to wrapped Bitcoin, Phantom to, if Wonderland was on Phantom, then there too. Instead of there being one pool of Phantom and then one pool of wrapped Ethereum and one pool of Curve and, like that, where there could just be one pool for all possible trading pairs on that exchange. And then you use the APY offered on each individual coin that's being staked to incentivize having like a balanced set of staked coins. Is that clear?
One pool. Say
Per
that last
coin.
bit.
It seems like you're trying to pool things that should inherently not be pooled. Like,
Walk me through why they shouldn't be pooled.
because the reality is when things are pooled, it's because there's some underlying that sort of you shouldn't put Olympus with Ethereum or something like that, because they're different things. So pooling them is sort of defeating the purpose of having separate underlyings to begin with.
No, you're not offering one APY on a big basket that contains all of these coins. No. The APY is coin specific.
So you're trying to increase the liquidity of the
correct.
low liquidity ones by doing what exactly?
By increasing the APY.
Oh, okay. So you want to level the playing field of low liquidity versus high liquidity by giving the low liquidity guys more APY so that they're incentive, so that people are like more excited about it.
So my first thought is not actually for the low liquidity guys, because if it is just some like new project or not particularly adopted, then fine. There's like low volume of it, low interest in it. What I'm solving for is, let's say we only have 5 tokens, but it's the 5 biggest. So it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Polkadot, and just, hat tip to Andres, solids. We've just got those 5 coins, right? If you do it the way that everybody does it, to have an LP pool, that means that you need 10 liquidity pools for those 5 coins. Is that right? So that there's a pair between, I just did as a factorial that if there's a pair between every 2 coins, then that's just the factorial of the number of coins, right?
I'm fairly sure that 5 factorial is not
It's
10.
not 10.
Well, then what is it when you just add them all? It's like 4 + 3 + 2 + 1. So the first coin needs 4 liquidity pools to be in a pair with each of the others.
N times N + 1/2. It's the sum of all the numbers up to. n.
Right. I thought that was called a factorial. Maybe a factorial is multiplication of.
No.
So in any event, what I just did, n plus 1 over 2. Oh, it's the product. Yeah. So if you add those up, so right, so the first one in the 5 needs 4 trading pairs or 4 liquidity pools to have a trading pair with each, right? So then the next one needs 3 because the first one already has a trading pair with it, and so on. So you need 10 trading pairs. This means
Actually,
and also
it's actually 15 if you do 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1, I think.
well, you don't need 5. You only need 4 because you have to subtract 1 so that there could be a counterparty. So you've got 5 coins. The first one has 4 potential trading pairs. That's 4 other coins it could pair with.
Okay, yeah.
But that also means that each coin is split among 4 liquidity pools, right?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so you
And
want
so-
to do like instead of a pair trading pool, you want to do like a multi. Yeah.
No. I just want each coin to be available to trade with each coin in a liquidity pool to be available to trade with all other coins on its own. So you're not contributing to one big pool that is all 5 coins, and then there's an APY calculated on top of that, because that would make it even more difficult to incentivize having a balanced pool through price signal, or rather through APY signal. So instead, each coin itself has its own liquidity pool in which you stake it. You might need some like lockup period or something, but that liquidity is available in all possible trading pairs. And then the APY is calculated on just that one coin. So then if,
Okay, so you want to have the total APY for a coin be the average of all the APYs for every pair of that coin with everything else, or everything that you support.
No.
Okay.
Because you're still thinking of it this old style way where there's like liquidity pools for each pair. What I'm saying is, if I'll make it even more operationalized. If the thing that gives it an APY, that gives it a return, is a cut on fees of transactions that involve it, because it's acting as it's capitalizing the automated market maker, right? Then you're right to say the aggregate, or like rolling up, but it would be the fees generated by all transactions that involve that coin, irregardless of what the counterparty coin was.
That's kind of what I said, but you said it differently. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I kind of see what you're saying. It's a way of diversifying that coin. Yeah, it's kind of like I was asking, why is WFTM so often the other pair, and it might be because it's more volatile.
Well, in this case, I think it's because it's happening on the Phantom smart chain, so it's the
native pair. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Greg, I see what you're saying. Somehow it was complicated, but yeah.
So what about that zap function? That zap withdraw versus deposit, because you changed.
It just simplifies so that you don't have to create an LP token and then deposit it into the pool. You just take the 2 tokens in the pair, and in one motion, it's created into an LP token, and then that LP token is deposited. Because
So Zap
technically,
deposit is a big green flag, and we want to rip it off potentially in the future.
yeah, we definitely want to rip that off. That's a big UX improvement. But I'm also thinking that an exchange where you don't create LP tokens, so that might actually obviate it, where instead you just deposit individual tokens and you get a cut of the fees associated with any trading of that token, would be really interesting.
I agree. Does it fit into the Plaid DAO formalism or white paper, or do you want to have that be like a function of Plaid DAO is enabling coin APYs on the Plaid DAO website to be any combination of coins, so you can diversify? And you know, is it 5? Is it 10? Is it, I mean,
It's as many coins as there are on the exchange.
but couldn't that only be implemented on the exchange? So, you know,
Yeah, you'd be limited. So exactly. And actually, I like that it means that the significant thing stops being the individual trading pair and starts being the exchange. Is this a attractive, highly used exchange?
so wouldn't that mean that, you know, we would have to either start an exchange or, you know, just give away our idea to another exchange?
Yeah, that's why it's not part of the current Plaid DAO white paper, but it's I kind of like it better than some of the things we've been talking about doing. Or maybe it's something to pitch as like I think for right now it's just something to keep in our back pocket, because you're right, we would have to build a whole exchange. But importantly, the entire Solidly code base is open source. Like we could just fork it, and then the new development would be figuring out how to do these individual coin staking pools.
Yeah, I mean, it seems more ambitious. I mean,
It's definitely more ambitious.
Plaid DAO kind of was by design sort of low ambition.
Yeah, this would be wildly more development time. It's just something that occurred to me. That, all right.
Do you have a name for this system other than, you know, extensive counterparty coin risk pooling?
Yeah, we'll have to come at squirreling.
Squirreling.
I suppose let's give me just a sec. I'm looking up I know. Maybe this is too buried a Spaceballs joke. We call it plain yogurt.
Plain yogurt, is that the name?
One of the characters' names is yogurt. Or we could call it Lone Star with 2 R's, which is one of the other characters' names. Yeah, that's Because, you know, listen, here's a quote of Lone Star in the movie. Listen, we're not doing this for money. We're doing it for a shitload of money.
Yeah, it's just Lone Star.
I'm a Mog, half man, half dog. I'm my own best friend. So we could call it Mog. So I'd be good with I would be good with any of those. Plain yogurt is my personal favorite.
I think Lone Star with 2 R's.
You think that's better? I don't want to support Texas in any way. That would suck. Once I get to mess with them.
I guess to me, Lone Star is kind of, you know, it could be single pairs, but if it's not single pairs, then it's not.
I see where you're going with that. Yeah, that's good. That's kind of what attracted me to plain yogurt. That it's about the simplicity.
Cyril, do you have any powerfully lucrative business ideas we can share with the world when I upload this in 10 minutes?
Not really, not right now.
Okay, we're going to share Lone Star with the world.
Nice. And they'll figure out exactly how we got to that name, which is good. But yeah, worth playing around with SolidX a little bit and seeing. So you need to get some Phantom to be able to play around on this.
Correct. Russell, what is this block from the Phantom chain that you wanted to direct our attention to?
It's just at the bottom of solidxfinance.com, this number 342817880. It doesn't.
Maybe it was the most recent block.
I think it's always the same whenever you reload the page.
Ah.
No, it's not. Yeah, no, it is. Yeah. No, it isn't. Okay, so it is not the same when you reload the page.
342845252.
Yeah, so for some reason there's a block at the bottom of every page that keeps changing.
Yeah, I think it's just telling you the most recent block on the Phantom chain.
Okay.
Why? Unclear, but there it is.
I didn't get any of that.
Maybe it's just telling you it's like a proof of liveness. Because it's got that like glowing green dot next to it. So if it turned yellow, it would tell you it's like frozen at that block, but I don't know what happens if it stops syncing to the Phantom chain. Probably bad things.
So I created a Plaid DAO YouTube channel.
Nice.
Thank you so much.
I'm good with the internet.
Sure are, Russell.
Okay. According to our preordained schedule. We have 4 minutes left.
Mhm.
Okay, so I guess let's set goals for next week. I mean, I'll see if I can play around with SolidX for a bit.
Yeah.
Any other agenda items we wanted to be prepped for on Monday?
What do we want to do? on Monday? You want to make Monday about a product requirements doc for an initial MVP, or do you want to make it about a like a media and like community engagement strategy?
I think media engagement sounds more urgent to me than
Okay, then yeah, let's focus on that,
that will
which I think
rapidly change.
breaks into 3 general categories, if I may. One is making the Discord a lively place. Another is our like social media engagement, Twitter, eventually like sliding into group telegrams, I suppose, that kind of thing. Probably some meme production there. And then the last would be our emerging, like, what do you call a video podcast uploaded to YouTube, or like our discussion series?
Yeah, maybe we can start thinking ahead of the topics, you know.
Yep, I think that's a great idea.
Okay. Exciting times.
Cool.
Does anybody not support me uploading our morning chat?
Well, I'm very clearly at work, so you know. I guess edit that last bit out if you can.
Cool.
Okay. See you later.
Yeah.